So what we're going to do is modify our student model. So let's go ahead and open that up. And we're going to specify specific string lengths. And actually, there is some of that in here already, but we're going to change them. And we're also going to add a data type for the enrollment date. So I've provided what you need in Hands-on 1, and you can simply copy it and paste it right over the top. Okay, and you can see we kind of cut down on some of the annotations, and we've changed the string length for first and last name to 50. For the date, we added a display format that will be applied when you view it, and also we told it to apply that formatting when you edit. So I'm going to just save this real quick and run a build. And I'll make sure I don't have any errors. And to apply this change to the actual database, we do need to add migrations. Now you should have a migration folder already from when we did the initial migrations to Contasso. And because we only have one DB context, we don't have to worry about specifying the exact location of the context file or the migrations. All we really need to do in the Package Manager console is say, add migration, and give it a name. And the name should be reflective of the change you made to the tables. So we basically did max length on names. That's what we adjusted. And in case you can't remember how to get into the Package Manager console, it's Tools, NuGet Package Manager, and then select the Package Manager console. Once you do migrations, it is just a good idea to dock this with your output and error listing. That way it's really handy and you can get into it quickly. Because basically any change you make that affects the database, you are going to have to do migrations. So once it's done with this, we are going to see a file appear in our migration folder that's got max length on names. And here is the file. And you can see that we have an up method. And these are all of the changes that it's actually making to that student table that it has created. And then here is the down, where it goes back to the way it was before. It backs out of the changes. Okay, so at this point, nothing has been actually applied to the database. So in order to apply these changes in the Package Manager console, we have to say update database. And once you see running seed method, that means it worked. And we can go ahead and run our app. Okay, and this is the format we've specified. And if we go into edit, looks like we need to regenerate our students. That is a good thing to know. Okay, so we'll go into details instead, and you can see that we have the format there as well. Yep. So it looks like we need to adjust our edit, which we will do when we get into adjusting views. Now, there is another change we're going to make to our student model, though. So we're going to go back over to student. And this change is going to be to first name. We're going to change the actual column itself. So this is a database change. And because we're changing the structure of the table, we have to have system component model data annotations dot schema added. So I'm going to copy this. Okay, and now we can make that change to the column itself. And I'm going to put it right above first mid name. And so it's column and it's going to be first name. So that's what we want to display as the column name itself. We'll run the build so we make sure we don't have an error at this point. And then we're going to do our migrations again because we're changing the structure. So we have to add the migration and we're going to give it a name and we're going to say column first name because that is what we changed. And this is where it actually creates the file with the up and down methods. It should actually open the file, which it did. And this is the change that it is making. It's simply renaming the column. New name is first name. And then the down, which backs out of the change, kind of reverses the change. Okay, so then we are going to update the database. Okay, and at this point, the database has been changed. We don't need to run it and select student to see that change. After you update the database in migrations, you can actually go into the SQL Server Object Explorer and you can go into view to access that. And I don't remember. Let me see which Contasso I am using. You can see I've done this several times. So I have several different Contasso universities, which is not ideal when you're trying to figure out which one to open. All right, so this is Contasso University too. Good to know. Let's go back over here. All right, so here's my Contasso University too. And there's student. And immediately you can see first name. You can also see the size of 50 for each one of those. Okay, and so both sets of changes have been implemented. I can tell just by looking. And if you want to run the app to see if it's still working, you can. Although we don't want to choose the edit and student because we still need to fix our view. Okay, so create probably is also going to have phone in it. So we don't want to look at that one either. Let's look at detail. And you can tell right here, first name was changed. So at this point, we might as well go ahead and fix those two views, as long as we're thinking about it. So let's go into the Solution Explorer. And these are student views. And pretty sure phone is in Create. Here it is. And we no longer have that column. So we're going to get rid of it. And we'll save it. And then for edit, let's look for phone. Here it is. And you can see it's flagged because it's not in our data model anymore. So we're just going to delete all of that code and save our change. And we do not have it anywhere else. We did not add it to edit display. And we saw that the index and the details and the delete were all working. So at this point, now that we've fixed this, if we run, and we don't try to go right into edit. Okay, now we should be able to go into create, and it should work. And then we should be able to go into edit, and that should work. And now everything in student is fixed.